my name is Saray Khumalo. I am the first Black African female to summit Everest, but there's a lot more to me than that. I'm a sister. Mm-hmm. I'm one of 7. I'm the second born. I'm a mother. I've got 2 boys. I'm also an executive. I have a team that I lead, so would like to believe that I'm a leader in terms of business. Absolutely love, how to almost create business out of nothing, especially when there's a spin to making people's lives better. That excites me. I'm also a Mandela Libraries ambassador. Mm-hmm. Through my clients, I've been able to raise over R1 million rands. And that has gone to literacy and education, because I believe that that's the only way we can secure the future leaders of Africa to be able to compete at a global stage. We keep saying that the world is a global village. Mm-hmm. What are we doing to make sure that our kids do not remain colonized, whether it's in the mind or actual colonization, one way or another, that they can compete with a child that's sitting out there in Europe, And I feel that women leaders are a lot more equipped and ready. It's our time to actually make that happen, because we are the first in contact with these kids, whether male or female, and we have the opportunity to actually raise them into responsible adults and responsible citizen, global citizens, effectively. So yeah, that's who I am. I think it's fearless, assertive, confident in who they are, recognizing that they are unique and they have something to contribute. Yes. What is nice now, it's not certain jobs that we can do. It's what we want to do and what we are passionate about. I think it's the ability to almost go against the grain, whatever it may be, and be fearless in that respect, and not being afraid to fail. Because many times we stop ourselves because we are afraid to fail. Recognizing that I can fail, but you know what? I'm going to fail forward. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to get up. I'm going to do this. It just wasn't time. Yes. So let me do it until it's time. I believe that a summit is just the next step away. When you stop taking those steps, you are not going to summit. So get on with it. That's an interesting question. Yes. I think I was raised by warrior women. Maybe that's why I identify myself as such. I think, unlike some of my friends that I've come across, I'm not ashamed of my failures. One of the most difficult things that happened to me is I fell off my mountain bike, and I had a terrible head injury. I was in a coma for 3 weeks, and I woke up and I had scars in my face. And every girl, it's like it changed my dynamic. I either could have stayed in my house and hid myself from everywhere, or I had to accept that this is it. This is the new me. I can deal with this, so the whole world must deal with this, And I think that is important. It's trusting in what you can still give and moving forward and working with what you have, I think because I'm a fighter, and I'm not ashamed to fail. I'm not afraid of failure because I know in every failure, there's a learning. And those learnings move me forward and they build my character. I am what I am today because of the little successes and the little failures that I've had all of them throughout my journey up to now. And I think it's recognizing that it becomes more evident with maturity, I suppose. But I think it's important as humans that we learn to forgive ourselves and just move on. I think it's cheerleading myself, even though everybody around me was starting to doubt me, It's cheering myself on, even though it seemed crazy to everybody around me. It's waking up and saying, I can do this, even though the person that believed in me yesterday does not believe in me today. It's waking up at Camp 4 and realizing that, I'm frostbitten. I'm not going to be able to climb again. I have to go down.
Yes.
And yet I was 99 meters from the top. It's just convincing myself that it's okay. It wasn't my time. I need to wait for God's time. And that's been a lot more challenging. I think a lot more than that is when people that you trust and that should be believing in you suddenly think, no, you shouldn't get funding because no Black African female is ready to climb the mountain. And it's like I'm being judged not by my capability, but the color of my skin, as well as my femininity. It's saying that I am going to show you for the next girl that comes along to be taken seriously. I think that it's almost, it's sad, but it's been the most low, I suppose, and the most challenging thing in the journey. If I go back to myself, I had multiple, and legit reasons not to go back and fight. And anybody could have understood why I didn't go back, but you tried. And that's why I keep saying that you need to be your own cheerleader. If you don't believe in yourself, why should the world believe in you? Let them come along. And even though when they do, don't say, well, but I told you so. I think just the fact that I have summited and you thought I couldn't is enough revenge. I climbed Aconcagua with some guys that didn't think I was the only girl. I was the only non-European. And this one of the guys said, oh, you're from South Africa. There's no huge mountains. Really very condescending. And, you're Black, you're female, you're not going to summit. He didn't summit, and I did. When I came down, I just said, hello. Oh, it was amazing up there. That was a lesson for the rest of his life. I didn't need to say anything. Next time you see somebody like me, you won't judge them because of the way they look or the color of their skin or where they come from, but by their ability. And I think if we as a generation can leave anything, we're not going to walk to the Union Building, I hope not, because other people have done that. This is our way of passing the right baton to the next generation of young girls and boys so that they can compete at the same level as everybody else. I think maybe fearless, not afraid of failure is a big thing for me. And I wasn't always like this, and it's something that you learn over time. And it makes you take chances, and they may not be calculated, but usually I take calculated risks. Also one that is not afraid to be vulnerable, because I think there is strength in vulnerability. For the longest time, women were not allowed to air their views, maybe even in boardrooms. I mean, because, too emotional, it's female. But maybe that's what the leadership need, the vulnerability, so that the world can run better. I think we've given the male species enough time to rule the world. It's our time, But if it is, are we ready? Are we preparing ourselves for that? And natural stuff, quite frankly. It's really being comfortable with where you are, because maybe where you are is not where you want to be, but in that specific moment, be content with it, and run your own race. It's the discipline to know your lane and sticking to it, because your time is coming. And we always try and chew more than we need because we're watching the neighbors. They're on their own journey. I think being confident in where your lane and your ability and your own journey is important. Being authentic, you are unique for a reason. And show us that, because that's what maybe the world needs to be in a better place. And just don't hide it away. Be you. We have one Kim Kardashian. We don't need more. And I think honesty with self, honest with the environment. I think you need to be honest with the fact that this is not my stuff to do, and let me move and do something else. When it's the right thing, it'll come easy. You'll struggle, but you'll be able to make it. I think that's really about it. And also, we are who we are because of those around. Coming back again to Ubuntu, it's not a shameful thing. It's something we should all be proud of, because it's brought us to where we are, effectively. I think it's important for you as an individual. It's important for me as an individual because it's the only time I'm able to almost optimize on the talent or on who I am, to showing it to the world and showing it to myself. We owe it to the next generation, our kids. It's important because if you look back, we are generally a paternalistic kind of environment, very submissive. And I think we're not doing the world, the family, the community, our countries, or our continent any favors by not contributing, by not just stepping up and stepping forward effectively. I think it's also important because, life is for the living, and life is an adventure. Explore it. Whether you're exploring the life is through cooking, go do that because we need good cooks. It's climbing mountains, go do it because, that's what we need at that specific point. Leadership, and that's what we need. There's a leadership crisis. Who's going to fix it? You talking about it doesn't fix it. And I think our kids are watching us more than anything. Our girl child is watching. Our boy child is watching because that boy child will treat the girl child in the future based on how we behave. And which is why I think it's important, especially for mothers. We carry them for 9 months. We can direct where this world moves. And that's a huge responsibility. So it's not just about being a warrior and let's get excited. Let's also recognize how much responsibility that comes with. It's our time, and that says it all. You need to figure out what makes you extraordinary, what makes you unique. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to the world. You owe it to the sisterhood to actually show up and step forward because, it's time for us to actually change the game. So it's two people mainly that have made such a massive difference in my life. My mother and my grandmother. My grandmother was so she was the go-go that got us all to go into her fields to cultivate. And whenever she harvested, it wasn't just for the family, it was for the neighborhood. She was a pastor's wife. She's the only granny that I saw that could cycle. And she would just put the foot on the bike and cycle from door to door. She was the pastor's wife. So she knew who in the church needed it and stuff like that. And she was one of those that there would be a knock at dinner time. And she's like, bring your plates. And she'll take all your meat, share with whoever the visitor is because there's no more meat in the pot. So for her, it was just important that it doesn't matter who eats the food. We all take it to the same place to share, And she taught me a sense of responsibility for the person next to me. If they're suffering, why am I laughing? Because tomorrow I'll suffer. It's my duty to actually lift them up because there's a lot of sun for everybody, we can all sit in the sunshine. My mother was, oh my word, she just believed, she wasn't as educated as her siblings, but she just believed so much in education. And she would always say, I didn't get a boy, that's okay, but you can be anything that you want, And she always reminded us of that. And if you cried too much about something that went wrong, she was like, get over it. What did you learn? Move on. and she and I at some point didn't really get along that well because she was so militant. I suppose she felt she had to be a mother and a father at the same time. But absolutely look up to them because I am what I am today because of those two women and the role that they played in my life. But there are other women that I see and I just look up there and I say, wow, Serena Williams, and that's a testament that it doesn't matter where you are. You can turn heads and you can make a difference. Where you least expect it, we have a voice. Let's start using it. And the world will cheer you on afterwards. Not everybody will like you. If what you're doing is honest and good intentions, let's get on with it.